Today I'm going to briefly talk about the proposed Tree of Life Foundation. It's a financial support system for a host of nonprofit initiatives that are designed under the broad umbrella of Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life. Now, what the Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life is focused on, what it's dedicated to, is the prolonging of the human race and prevention of catastrophic events that can threaten the survival or prolonging of the human race. Whether that means through technology, through science, through morals and ethics, education. It's a holistic approach to the one targeted issue, which is to prolong the life of the human race here on Earth, or maybe beyond, for that matter. Now, the Tree of Life Foundation separates into four major branches. The first one is corporate. The second one is the Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life itself. The third one is AdviceLink. The fourth one is IAAI, International Advisory Advocacy Institute. So the first one, I'm going to go over each one. Each one of the four branches I just talked about. The first one is the corporate side. It's going to deal with anything that's business. The Ships Tarshish initiative falls under the corporate branch. The second one is Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life. It itself falls under three different branches. The first one is research and development, researching and data collection when it comes to the scientific, historical research on how life is sustained, and so forth. The second one is public advisory, which is in education, sort of like a public affairs branch, public relations, and, department initiative. The third one is contingency and training, training the decision makers, everyday people, contingency plans, what to do in case of certain things that happens. And the plans that falls through, if should this happen, should that happen. Two, when we're talking about big, potentially catastrophic human events, such as so some of them might be a little bit out there, such as an asteroid hitting the Earth, another dinosaur extinction event. We're talking about or just natural disasters, warfare. Even things that we don't want to talk about. Things that might threaten the human race, basically speaking. So that falls under the Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life, which is the second branch under Tree of Life Foundation. The third one is AdviceLink. It's an advisory agency slash service that's geared towards advising everyday decision makers. It focuses on the secular side of things, which is practical wisdom. It is tied in with morals and ethics, but mostly it focuses on secular, practical, everyday decisions. It helps people, empowers people so that they make the best decision when it comes to business, even family, personal individuals to business to government. Mostly focusing on the secular side of everything. The fourth one is a lot like AdviceLink. It's called International Advisory Advocacy Institute. But that one, focuses a little bit more on the morals and ethics side of things. Because we're dealing more with ethics, we can't really separate that completely from spirituality and religion. So that's going to be tied in along with that. It is associated with the MN Global, the Jewish Outreach Program. The reason being is because we're dealing with the entire global perspective. Both the Western and the Asian, the European, the African, all combined together, and there's only one group of people in the world that's suitable for that kind of position to give advice in a very holistic, cultural, understandable way. These people have been through all of the world. They have been traveling outside of their home state for thousands of years, so they bring back that kind of cultural, holistic approach when it comes to moral and advocacy and cultural advisory. So these are the four branches we're talking about: corporate, Foundation for Human Sustainment and Quality of Life, AdviceLink, and International Advisory Advocacy Institute. Now, don't let the certain words scare you, such as Sanhedrin and things like that. It's meant to be a very practical, very straightforward approach to what we're doing, and we aim for transparency. We aim for just straightforwardness. With everything we do, despite the terms and words that are associated with various different interpretations. you know, so to speak. Without further ado, I'm going to move on to the business operations plans for the the Tree of Life Foundation. So here we have the business plan from data collection all the way to the executive summary. It's going to be a booklet, or at some point made available in paper form or electronic form. Paper form probably easier for those of you who are going to be reading this as part of your presentation. So the mission statement is very simple: to prolong the human race and improve quality of life. There might be other nonprofits out there that are geared towards that, but this is a very broad concept, and we have people. We are this nonprofit is meant to be dedicated to that one mission statement objective. So the first one, data collection. We're going to do some research to gather the data, including how many nonprofits out there are already doing this, an estimate, a broad estimate of how much this might cost, yearly, annually, stuff like that. The second one is heart of the matter. It's the mission statement. We are associated with the Sanhedrin and the seven Noahide laws. Institutes, all these organizations that are geared towards the seven Noahide laws, because as we know, whether you're religious or not, the story of Noah is about a guy, supposedly throughout history, sometime in history, who used technology, inspired divinely, all that, who use technology to ensure the survival of his family, along with a bunch of animals and all that life forms. Basically, we say to prolong the human race, but what we really mean is prolong life, to give life, to sustain life, to preserve life here on earth and maybe beyond. So religiously, it's tied in with all that. Secularly, we're working on all the practical means to fulfill that objective. Then we have services. So as a part of that, we have cruise ships, we have reliable transportation, a whole network of things that are geared towards increasing the cultural exchange of the world. And we're going to have people focusing on the Jewish nation. If we use an analogy that the Israel is like the heart of the world, the world has many organs. Heart is one of the organs, and that's because the Jewish people have been exiled for all parts of the earth, just like the blood from the heart that goes all throughout all parts of the body and comes back to the homeland called the heart. But as a part of that analogy, we have people that travel everywhere to ensure that certain ideas and money and goods and services are exchanged throughout all of the world, and that is the job, in our interpretation, of the Jewish people. So we're going to have a host of networks of cruise ships and also reliable transportation. I say reliable transportation because there could be newer technology, such as things that are flying in the air, things in the ocean, anything that ensures that people travel. And we're going to center this in the Jewish nation of Israel because traditionally these people have the know-how and the cultural knowledge in comparison with the rest of the world, geared towards the cultural sharing. There is the mitzvah, there's the commandment that says that Jews are supposed to be in their homeland unless they're doing business. Well, this is the way for people of the Jewish community to do business. So the cruise ships, the ships of Tarshish, which is related to this, the idea, or excuse me, under this branch, is geared towards helping the Jewish people and also Gentile associates to travel the world and sort of start this whole Silk Road initiative of modern day times to facilitate business, economic, religious, and intellectual exchange to make sure that we're all on the same page as a global community. There might be better ways and there might be simpler ways to explain all this, to articulate all this. Believe me, we're working on it. So that's one of our services. Another service that we have is like what I said before, research and development. We have R&D on everything, medical, science, and all kinds of industries in the world. I don't need to list them, but this one is geared towards research and development that focuses on how to preserve life. Um, we have public figures such as Elon Musk is talking about shipping people to a different planet. We're going to do our best. We're going to we're intending on reaching out to these public figures to collaborate on plans to make that happen. And other services are advisory service that I talked about, with both secular and spiritual. Religious and all that. Both secular and morals and ethics, and that's delivered through online mediums or in-person mediums. We have field agents that goes to different places, that gather information, that advises people, that works with people, that sit downs with people face to face, and that's another one of our plans. And we have marketing. The primary audience when it comes to fundraising will probably be first and foremost the religious community. I'm talking about the Christians, Jewish people, the Muslims, as well as other people who are willing to donate to a quasi-religious based organization. And then we have secular marketing plans that is designed to reach out to secular people of the world. Instead of like capitalizing, instead of like pitching to them the religious aspects of everything, when it comes to the story of Noah and all that, we're just going to simply go directly to the practical aspects, such as using technology to prolong life. As we know, in the Jewish eschatology landscape, there is no, unlike the Christian and Islamic eschatology landscape, there is no catastrophic apocalypse or anything like that. In the Jewish eschatology, it's very clear. In the Messianic age, quality of life is going to improve. Not to say other things won't happen, but the goal of the whole end of the not the end of the world, but like when the Messiah comes, everything is going to improve, and there's going to be no more wars. There's going to be peace, and quality of life is going to improve, and basically there's going to be Shabbat on all days, meaning people would have to work less, and basically you can interpret it as like a return to the Garden of Eden, which is the ideal state of being, where people don't have to work as much and have a higher quality of life. It is not to be confused with the utopian concept of communism. Obviously, this one is meant to be a little bit more realistic. It takes into account of the factors such as human selfishness, the need for materialism, fairness, and also how to incorporate capitalism into this eschatological landscape. There's more to be talked about. When it comes to the economic circle, what I mean by that is that today we have governments, real estate, commodities, cash flow, and we have the stock market. The stock market nowadays is it's without sounding too getting too much into the analogical kind of talk and all that, but basically what I'm trying to say is that all these elements of our economy has a place in the ultimate, what they call redemption, geula landscape. They all fit in a piece of picture. So basically what we're talking about is a more realistic approach to a more ideal world where people can work less and still live a good life. Basically that's what I'm trying to say. So the next one is operational plan. There's going to be it's going to be divided into major phases, and also phase one would be to establish the organization in the first place. This phase two would be to execute the plans. Phase three would be to to get this organization started where to a point where it can sustain on itself, and we have contingency plans within the organization so that if say one of our founding members stepped down or went away or something like that, how to appoint or how to find the next leaders, next executives to replace us, so that this organization stays as an ongoing, service that can benefit humanity long after the founding fathers, the founding members have no longer serving an active role in running the nonprofit. And then we have impact. The impact, we're talking about non-financial impact, a return on the investments that people make, is that we have a better world of higher quality of life. We have humans. We can live in security without having to worry as much about, like, what if this happens, what happens. We can actually focus on long-term goals of humanity. We can, study Torah, which is going to make the religious community very happy. It's going to give the Jewish people a chance to actually, I don't want to say teach, to share with the rest of the world what they're really about, and the real, the teachings of the Jewish educational, you know, the Jewish teachings, that are, what it really is about, as opposed to, what the rest of the world think it is, which has been a source of misunderstanding for many generations, and also fueling, anti-Semitism, all that. Throughout history. So that's going to make the Jewish community very happy. It's also going to make the world very happy, because we're going to find out, what's the secret behind their success, and how to incorporate religious teachings into practical, everyday wisdom to make our lives better. And financially, we have the nonprofit is not going to be something that's going to be the sole source of the whole operation. We're going to have businesses. We're going to actually generate income from actual businesses and services that people actually pay. It's not going to be all based on donations, although that might be a good portion of our financial support in the beginning, likely, but eventually, if not as soon as possible, in the beginning, we're going to sustain ourselves with sustainable ways to generate income. So we're going to make sure that it is ethical, moral, and straightforward, or ethical, moral, in the way that we generate our income when it comes to business, and also when it comes to donations. We want to get it from sources that's not going to compromise our values and principles that makes our nonprofit what it is. So there you have it, all the major points, and then we have the executive summary of the Tree of Life Foundation, which is a big foundation of the donated money that's going to fund all the four of the branches of organization that's going to basically focus on the prolonging of the human race and improving quality of life. There's a secular component to it. There's a religious component to it. They all come together, and we invite everyone to ask questions as you would like, and we will do our best to answer them. And if there's a better way we can articulate it, please let us know. We can communicate it in ways that people can understand, so that we're on the same page. Thank you for watching, and you'll have the contact, should be in the video somewhere, in the description box, in the descriptions. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.